In this episode of the LA Business Podcast, we talk to an entrepreneur who focuses on sound, and we talk about attracting the right people to your company, both employees and customers, and working together to build a new business. Let's jump right into this week's episode of the LA Business Podcast. Welcome to the LA Business Podcast, your destination to hear stories of how businesses grow and scale. I'm Robert Brill, CEO of Brill Media and the host of this podcast. Now, let's jump right into this week's interview. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the LA Business Podcast. Today our guest is Adam Malovani, founder and of World of Sound Productions, and they provide unforgettable outdoor headphone experiences. Adam is a serial entrepreneur with a successful track record of founding, building, and selling companies. Adam, thanks for being with us today.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit about World of Sound. Like, what are unforgettable outdoor headphone experiences?
Unforgettable outdoor headphone experiences. Well, the technology side of it has been around for the better part of 20 years, but it's primarily been DJs using radio frequency headphones, more commonly known as a silent disco. But we have taken it to a whole new level in that we're pretty much the only company that I know of uh, specializing in using that technology with live music, where we have some really top-notch audio engineers that allow us to hear the sound of full bands in studio quality sound, and we use high-powered antennas so you can hear that sound for up to a quarter mile in every direction. And also, we're just putting on some really unique experiences, and we can do it anywhere, if it's on the beach or in the desert. And we've been doing it for the better part of a year and a half, and people are really enjoying the experience. So, yeah, that's what we do.
So tell us about how that, like, I get what a silent disco is. I think it's a thing where you're in the room, in a big room with a lot of people, and they're all wearing headphones, and we're all listening, I guess, to the same music, or like, okay, so and you can do this like at the beach. So is it literally just everyone wearing a bunch of headphones, and how is the music distributed? Because that's an interesting part about it.
Yeah. So basically, the audio input, if it's a DJ or if it's a live music or if it's a wellness experience, plugs essentially into, well, first it goes into our digital mixing board, where we have our audio engineers that mix it, with the proper reverb and balance, so it sounds like you're in a recording studio. And then that connects to our radio frequency transmitter, to a high powered antenna that then broadcasts by radio frequency we have 2,000 headphones now. So people use our high fidelity headphones, and we're all listening to the same thing. I should clarify, the headphones actually have 5 radio frequency channels. And so, like in the case of this event that we're doing coming up in a week from Saturday, the Hermosa Harmony Festival, we will have 5 different audio experiences going at the same time. We'll have live music, 3 DJ stages, and wellness experiences. And people can choose which of those 5 audio experiences they want to be a part of.
Wow, that's really cool. So how did you get into this business?
Well, I first came upon the idea when I was skiing at Mammoth with my son. We came down into the village, and there were all these people with headphones on, glowing headphones, and they were singing Sweet Caroline, I think, at the top of their lungs and having a great time. And they gave us, me and my son, a headphone, and we just had such a great time. And the one thing that really struck me was that how surprisingly communal the experience was. You know, you would think, oh, you're isolated, but because we're all sharing the same audio experience and connecting and dancing together and singing together, it really struck me that it was an amazing experience. And you know, as an entrepreneur, I'm thinking, huh, this is really cool. And I was looking for my next venture. I said, what could we do to take this to the next level? And it occurred to me within minutes is like, I wonder if I could do this with live music because it was with DJs. And so that's what our focus has been, really perfecting it with live music.
And so how do you grow this business? Like, what are the some of the tactics that you use, um, to get new business?
Yeah, good question. You know, there's so many potential revenue streams and opportunities with this. I mean, the major people in this space is primarily in the rental business where, you know, these companies have 20,000 headphones and they ship them all over the country. And if people are having a private party or a wedding or there's a DJ, you know, they do their DJ experiences. But now that we've taken it to a whole nother level with the live music and the wellness experiences, I mean, we've done anything from front yard concerts, um, to we did the world's first silent music festival, at least as far as I know it was, and that was out in Joshua Tree. We had a 3-day, uh, glamping, incredible music festival, and that was primarily live music and wellness. And then, we're also starting to do business. We did, with there's a restaurant franchise called Rock and Brews, and they have a location in Redondo Beach. And we did 4 events there with classic rock tribute bands, and they built these outdoor stages in their patio area with, you know, now since COVID, everybody, you know, has moved outdoors. And and ironically, it's the perfect solution for live music during COVID because you can do it outdoors and you can, with a range of a quarter mile in every direction, you can spread out as far as you want. But we're going to start doing with Rock and Brews every Friday and Saturday night. Um, Outdoor live music headphone experiences. And but you know, I've got a kind of a mind map with about you know, so many different channels, uh including the rental business.
So is
But
it word of mouth? Are you looking at word of mouth, or are you
yeah, I
doing, like,
mean, at this time,
advertising, PR?
we've been primarily using social media to market it, as well as word of mouth. And we've got people coming at us from a lot of different directions, and it's we're we're staffing up now, and we've built this incredible team. We have like 20 people on this team, which is kind of an amazing story into itself, how we are building this company. Um, but yeah, there's, you know, so many opportunities, including unusual things that, you know, it could be, for example, my mother is in an assisted living facility. She's
Mhm,
96.
mhm.
And, you know, there's been studies done, and I'm interested in pursuing this, of how music, and especially with headphones, because it's so immersive that it, you know, connects to music in particular, you know, especially the music that you grew up with, taps into a part of the brain that is just, you never, it brings, like, people that were catatonic for 20 years, they put on headphones with music that they grew up with and they come to life. It's pretty incredible the power of the music can have on people young and old.
Tell us about, some of the other businesses you've run. Like, what I'm really interested in understanding is, like, what are some of the learnings you've had over the course of your entrepreneurship?
Mm,
What challenges you typically face, or as you grow a business, and with those challenges, how do you overcome them?
mm. Well, what comes to mind off the top of my head is, as an entrepreneur, and I've started several companies, and you start with you, and then you hire your first, person or two, and that's the term is how do you get over the hump? And that's always a challenge. And it's the way I'm doing it this time is completely different than any other time company that I've built. And the way it happened for me this time, I was actually on a Zoom call at these like around New Year's, and it was like a full moon kind of ritual Zoom call, and the person that was leading the call said, "Okay, now get out your journal and write down in one sentence your intention for the coming year." And without really thinking about it, I wrote down connect and collaborate with kind, creative people. And I didn't think about it and I shut my journal. And then about a week or two later, I opened it. I was like, what was that? And I was like, connect and collaborate. This is exactly what I got to do. So I just started, as I was talking to people in my community, I live here in Hermosa Beach. I told people about what I was doing and I invited them into, we have a weekly Zoom call, our team. And I invited these people if they were, at all a potential fit, if I had a good feeling about them, that they could not only as a person, that they'd be somebody that would be a good match potentially for the team. And since that time, over the last 8 months, um, our team has grown from 3 people to over 20 incredible, talented, passionate people.
Mhm.
And people are contributing in all kinds of different ways, and often, working for a fraction of what they might typically get, but we're all able to make money through our events, and so we're building it that way, and it's the thing I'm most proud of and grateful for is this incredible team. So that's my focus now. I've realized for the first time that it's all about the team, because that it's a heck of a lot. I wouldn't want to do this with just on my own. I've been down that road, and it's a lot more fun and a lot more scalable when you have a team.
Yeah, absolutely. And what how do you keep your team members engaged in the work that you're doing? I mean, many people have many different types of motivations. How do you assess what an individual's motivations are, and then further, how do you ensure that you fulfill on what their motivations are?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because they're not, you know, they're not traditional employees. I'm not paying them a salary, and many of them, are that don't need the $20 an hour or whatever it is that we can offer to pay. I just say, hey, you do what inspires you. So people are saying, okay, I'd like to do this. And it's like, great, go for it. And having that freedom for them to do whatever they want to do, and my not having to then micromanage them or manage them at all. I mean, and we're just all coming together and say, okay, who would, is any, people are just offering to do things. And somehow we've built this like family. It's really amazing. And we're all, I mean, I think in order to do that, you have to have a a product or a service that people are really inspired to want to be a part of. And we have that. And, it's all about, our ethos that came from that mantra is kindness, community, and collaboration. And I think that that really resonates with people probably more than ever.
How do you attract these people as you grow, right? Like as you like how do you where do you go, or what actions do you take to find these people?
You know, that's kind of the amazing thing. I mean, I've never done an ad. It's like these people just seem to drop into my life, and either people that I meet walking around town or it's a friend of a friend, and, it's it's amazing how this has happened, but it just seems to be like things aligning, when you have a clear vision and you're passionate about it and you have something that's, we're putting on these incredible events that people are just being attracted to me I no, not I shouldn't say me because it's not at all about me, but about the team and what we're doing.
Right.
Um, that somehow they're finding us,
Well,
feels
and also, I mean, I think the right type of people get connected together, and this is such a California thing. Where are you located, by the way? I'm just curious.
Hermosa Beach,
Yeah,
and
you're
most of
Hermosa Beach.
those
Yeah, it's
mo
such a California thing, like, I talk about vibe all the time, my team rolls their eyes. But the vibe, the energy, your intentions are so important, and I don't care where you are in the world, I mean, I think people of the same energy and the same synergy and a viewpoint of the world tend to attract together,
yes,
tend to find each other, so I think that's really interesting you say that, and it's kind of funny that you're in Hermosa Beach.
yeah, and probably the whole team is probably within, lives within 3 miles with rare exception, yeah, and vibe is definitely a good word.
Right, you've gotta like the people you work with,
Totally,
you've gotta be aligned on where you're going and how you're gonna get there, like, it's a whole thing. So tell us about the last year and a half of the business, like, did COVID, like,
yeah.
really just dramatically change your business?
Interesting, yes, so, after that mammoth experience where I first discovered the silent disco, I, spent probably 6 months with an audio engineer friend of mine,
Mhm,
trying to figure out the technology of how to do this with live music, and I was also very involved in the community with trying to, use music to bring the community together, specifically outdoor music. I've been an advocate here in Hermosa Beach because it turns out Hermosa has this rich history of music with jazz and surf music and punk music. And so I had been asked to, I'd never been in the event business or the music business. My background is consumer products. But I, because I've been an advocate for music and I love live music, and the Chamber of Commerce was planning an event, a sidewalk sale. And
mhm,
they said, "Hey, do you want to take the lead on this music? We don't have a budget." So I said, "Sure." And I put up a Facebook fundraiser to pay for the musicians. And we raised like $7,000 to pay musicians to perform outdoors in Hermosa Beach. And we were about to do this outdoor music event in front of this coffee shop called Java Man, and the
mhm,
chamber informed me that, they didn't apply for the outdoor amplified music permit in time.
mhm,
So, I said, "Huh, are we ready to try this with headphones?" So, we went for it, and, we pulled it off with 100 headphones, and I think it was probably as far as I know, the first all day live music headphone experience, and it was fantastic. We had like 35 local musicians, and we were about to launch the company. That was February of 2020
what a mess.
when COVID hit.
Yeah. So it's
So,
interesting,
yeah,
innovation, this, challenges breed solutions that ultimately breed innovation. T tell us a little bit about, what the future looks like for you and, like, with the world kinda screeching to a halt, at least in the United States, for the last year and a half. When did you start to see things ramp up, and what does it look like for the next year for you?
well, like I said, we've probably done 25 unpermitted events because up until this time, really, until very recently, live music was not permitted. So we were going rogue, and uh, there was only so much you could do. We did do these events on the beach, uh, at Dockweiler Beach near the airport, and called Neon Beach. And it grew from 200 to 300 to 500 people, sold out events, and it was incredible just the way it grew, just organically, people that came to these experiences and told their friends. But then it got so big that LA County said, all right, you guys, this is getting a little too big. But so now this Hermosa Harmony Festival that'll be on October 2nd, a week from Saturday, will be our first really permitted event. And we're permitted on the beach in Hermosa to have up to 2,000 people. We have 2,000 headphones now. And as I said, the opportunities, as um, we're being noticed and we're getting press, that people are kind of coming out of the woodwork to want to do events with us, be it weddings or corporate events, especially outdoors. And and interesting, here's another huge opportunity, is that there was an event a couple of weeks ago here in Hermosa called the Fiesta Hermosa that's been going on for 50 years. And they have live music. And we just plugged in our transmitter antenna into their mixing board, and it was just fantastic. So you could hear in studio quality sound the live music that was happening um, up to a quarter mile away. And so I think there's a huge opportunity for us with music festivals to offer it the headphones as a VIP experience, or to anybody that wants to pay a little extra to be able to hear, studio quality sound. Like, I was at a music festival last weekend, and the VIP, ironically, which was off to the side, the area, and the sound was not good. I mean, you hear one side of the speakers, and typically you can't, I was like listening to the Wallflowers, and it was Bob Dylan's son who's writing these incredible songs, and I want to hear the lyrics. And I couldn't understand a single word. No disrespect for the audio crew there. It's just like most live music events you go to outdoors, especially, and you can't understand the words, or there's some guy, drunk behind you talking in your ear going, isn't this amazing? And, I'm old school. I really want to hear the music. So there's just a ton of opportunity, and it's just going to be for us now as a team to figure out where we want to focus.
Very cool, very cool. Um, and as I understand you have some special offers for us, for those of us who are, um, who might want to attend the Hermosa Harmony Festival.
Yes. So if I'm offering a promo code, Adam, that's me. And if you put that in, you'll get a 20% discount off your tickets. So if you go to hermosaharmonyfestival.com, uh, and tickets are for regular price, $45 for adults and $15 for kids. And there's something for everybody. I mean, that's part of what is so exciting about this for us, is we want it to be really inclusive. If little kids, families, people in their 20s that are raging, that want to do the silent disco, and old people like me that are more into the live music, or, the wellness experiences, there's something for everybody. And it's going to be, I think it's probably, I mean, I'm sure there's never been anything done at this level, with 5 stages going simultaneously on the beach. And there's going to be food and drink and different experiences. I think it's really going to be amazing. And um, I hope that some of your listeners and viewers will take me up on that offer and come say hello and join us.
And if other events want to reach out to you to work with you, how can they reach out to you? How can they
Yeah.
find you?
Our company is World of Sound Productions. So worldofsoundproductions.com, and you can contact us through the website is the easiest way.
Very cool. Adam Malovani, founder of World of Sound Productions. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the LA Business Podcast. If you like what we're doing on this podcast, please consider subscribing on Apple or Google Play, leaving a 5-star review, and sharing with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations for a guest you'd like to hear on this podcast, please email me, robert@brillmedia.co. Thank you. Have a fantastic